So actually the scheduled speaker was His Holiness Mahaduti Swami. He's not feeling well. Apparently he's caught the cold that's circulating through the community. So we hope he gets well soon and is back to his usual blissful self. So I got short notice, so I'll do my best to fill in for him. Today's topic is Mahaprabhu's instructions to Srila Rupa Goswami. We prayed to Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Hahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Srila Prabhupada would recite this prayer invariably at every gathering, every lecture, every class he would give, because he said this ISKCON society is the Manobhishtam of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His own personal desire, Pritivatayachi Dachanagara Gram Sarvatya Pachor Horbi More Nam. This is the message of the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Rupa Goswami, his mission was to fulfill that desire, his Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Manobhishtam. So this society, Prabhupada writes in one purport, this ISKCON society is the Manobhishtam of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the exact translation of this shloka is, when will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who is established within this material world, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet. So we are known as Rupanuga Vaishnavas, not just Vaishnavas, but followers of Rupa Goswami, because he's giving the world the instructions directly from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the source of our sampradaya, you can say, our specific sampradaya as followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We prayed to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Rupanuga Virodhapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine, that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada would not tolerate. He was completely intolerant of any description or any conclusion that contradicted that which was taught by Srila Rupa Goswami. So we follow in his footsteps. We're known as Rupanuga devotees. So Srila Rupa Goswami, previous to his meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he and Sanatana Goswami had practically become like Muslims, Dabir Khas, and taken Muslims' names, Dabir Khas and Sakir Malik. But when they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Ramakeli, everything changed, because this is the effect of coming in contact with pure devotional service. What to speak of coming in contact with the Supreme Lord Himself. So as soon as they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they became overwhelmed with devotional ecstasy. And Rupa Goswami recited this famous verse, Namo Mahabhajanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Nama. And they immediately went back home and made plans how to leave the service of the Shah, of Nawab Hussain Shah. Rupa Goswami collected all his wealth, and he set example for all Vaishnavas actually. He gave 50% to Vaishnavas and Brahmanas for the propagation of Krishna consciousness. He gave 25% to his family, and he set aside 25% for emergency, which ultimately was used to free Sanatana Goswami from prison. So someone may ask, because Srila Prabhupada also asked the same thing, that Grihastha devotees who are earning should give 50% of their earnings to the process of propagating Krishna consciousness for devotional life. Someone may ask, if I give 50% of my earnings, how will I pay my bills? I won't be able to eat. So we should understand this properly. 50% of your income means 50% of what's left after you pay your bills. Discretionary income. It's not that Srila Prabhupada expected devotees to starve, but that whatever discretionary income is there, instead of spending for sense gratification, one should spend that money in the service of the Lord, because it belongs to Him. What to speak of the money, our own body belongs to Him. The air we breathe, the food we eat, the house we live in, our bank balance, our family, our car, our home, our sons, daughters, wife, husband, all belong to the Lord, what to speak of our income. So a devotee, recognizing that, takes it upon himself to support devotional activities. The whole responsibility of the financial responsibility rests on Grihastha ashram. How are we building this beautiful temple here? How are all these buildings come up? They didn't fall from the air. They're the result of the generosity of devotees that were successful in life, successful in business, and who had the generous mentality of doing something positive for the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that 50% means different for different people. 50% may mean for one person 1,000 rupees. For another person it may mean 1,000 crores. But money is meant for the service of the Lord. Actually, the Lord says everything is meant. Yat kuroshi yad ashnasi yajdahosi dadasi yat tapasyasi konteya mat kurushva madarpanam. He says, offer everything to me. Whatever you eat, whatever you offer, give away, whatever austerity you perform, whatever you do, mat kurushva madarpanam, offer to me, because it's the Lord's property. And in this way, we don't become entangled. The Lord says in the next verse, Shubha Shubha Palarevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanai Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upaishyasi. That if we live our life in this way, offering everything to the Lord, as was shown by Srila Rupa Goswami, we're not entangled, neither in shubh activities or ashubh activities, sinful life or pious life, because a life of piety also entangles us in the material world. Good karma is actually bad karma, because it means we have to come back to this world to enjoy the fruits of our punya, our sukriti. Why we see so many opulent people in this world? Because of their purva punya. Purva punya means you have to come back to enjoy that. So shubhasha mokshase karma bandhanai. We become free from shubh and ashubh, piety and impiety, by offering everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. And ultimately he says, Mamvi Vaishyasi, that you come back to me by this activity. Doing everything for his satisfaction. Mat Kurushva Madarpanam. So Srila Rupa Goswami showed perfect example of this, of offering everything for the service of the Lord, but not neglecting his secular responsibility also. That's another thing. We should also see that family responsibility is also connected with the Lord. He gave 25% to his family. It's not like, oh, you're not my wife, you're not my husband, you're not my children, I have no connection with this world. He was responsible. He used money also for family, because devotee sees family is also connected with Krishna. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed, Manasa deho geho yo kitshumor arpilantu apade Nanda Kishore. Oh Nanda Kishore, my mind, my body, my home, yo kitshumor, whatever little bit I call my own, I offer to you. And this is spiritual life. Spiritual life is not a life of renunciation, because renunciation will never get you bhakti. Bhakti is not a product of renunciation. It's not a product of knowledge. Bhakti begets bhakti. So when we offer something to Krishna with our heart, in the previous verse he says, Patram pushpam palam tvayam yome bhaktya parachnati tadaham bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatanma. Offer me the smallest, most insignificant thing, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, water. With devotion, Krishna happily accepts that, as if he's very, very hungry. Does he need fruits and flowers? Leaf, water? Mediterranean Ocean is there, Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Red Sea. Billions of gallons of water are available, creation of the Lord, just in this world. Why is he asking for water? Why is he asking for fruits? In due course of time, the trees are overburdened with fruits and flowers. Does he need fruit, flower, water? What does he want? He wants our devotion. This is the key to our progress in spiritual life. When we offer something to him with devotion, he accepts. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was called to this world by insignificant offering of Ganga Jal and Tulsi. Talasi dali matrena jalasi chulokinava. Tadatmanam bhaktebhyo bhaktavatsala. This is Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse in the description of Advaita Charya calling Lord Chaitanya to this world. He simply offered the most insignificant things, some water and a leaf, tulsi leaf. But Krishna said that someone who offers me a palmful of water and one tulsi leaf with devotion, there's nothing in my power, I have nothing in my possession to offer them, therefore I offer myself. This is the power of bhakti. Krishna is controlled by bhakti, and it begins in our own home. Not thinking that I'm working hard, I will enjoy this money, it's for me. I'm the Ishwaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. I'm the enjoyer, I'm perfect, powerful and happy. This will simply drag you to hell. Trivadam narakasiyedam dwaram nashanavatmana. Kamalobhatarasdo lobas tajet. That one should give up lust, greed, anger, because they're gates to hell. So what is the remedy for this? We sacrifice. We give money for the propagation of Krishna consciousness, to uplift others for the benefit of society, because there is no greater benefit than propagating Krishna consciousness. We can build a hospital. Hospital is a good thing to have, because in due course of time, we will all need a hospital. This is the nature of the material world. But a hospital, most well-equipped hospital, most modern hospital, with the most brilliant doctors, with the most up-to-date technology, cannot solve the problems of life. It cannot solve the problem of death. Hospital cannot solve the problem of death. Food cannot solve the problem of hunger. Medicine cannot solve the problem of disease. What solves the problem of life? Krishna Bhakti. So our responsibility is to follow the example of Srila Rupa Goswami and give in charity for the propagation and upliftment of human society. Propagation of Krishna Bhakti and upliftment of human society that is only possible by propagating the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. Yoga is not going to do it. Karma is not going to do it. Jnana is not going to do it. Only this simple thing, the propagation of Nam Sankirtan. And this is the Manobishtam of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that was perfectly understood by Rupa Goswami, who is propagating it all over the world. So Sanatana Goswami also is described in this beautiful chapter. I'm summarizing the chapter 19, Madhya Lila. It describes the discussion between Rupa Goswami and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sanatana Goswami got himself in trouble also with the Nawab, and he lied for Krishna. Because what is the meaning to lie? Lie can be something very negative, or it can be something positive. Lie can drag you to hell. Lie can implicate you in sinful activity. And truth can also drag you to hell. Example is given. Some brahmanas were being chased by some dacoits. Vaishnava brahmins were being chased. One pious man gave them shelter. Said, come to my home, I'll hide you in the attic. So this pious Brahmin was very truthful to a fault. So when the dacoits came to his home, he says, are those Brahmins that we're chasing, are they in your home? He said, yes, they're in my home. He dragged them out and killed them. His truthfulness was the cause of sin. But falsity, lie, can be the cause of bhakti also. And here is an example. Sanatana Goswami said, I'm sick. I can't attend my office. I can't help you. I'm sick. But Nawab Hussain Shah sent his physician to check on Sanatana Goswami. And what did he find? He's sitting with 20, 30 Brahmins discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Nawab Hussain Shah said, you please come. I'm going to attack Orissa. And Sanatana said, no, I cannot go. You're going to attack my Jagannath and you expect me to help you? Impossible. So the Shah threw him in prison. Long story short, he bribed the jailer and he got out, and they met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayag. at Dashashvamedha Ghat. Now this is a very special meeting. We can ask, why did Lord Chaitanya spend 10 days teaching Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabh, who met him at Dashashvamedha Ghat? Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, very important thing, quote, "The special function of Srila Rupa Goswami is to establish the feelings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These feelings are his desires that his special mercy be spread throughout the world in this Kali Yuga. The desire of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that all over the world, everyone, in every village and every town, know him and his Sankirtan movement. These are the inner feelings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Srila Rupa Goswami committed to writing all these feelings of the Lord. Now again, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the same feelings are being spread all over the world by the servants of the Goswamis, and devotees who are pure and simple will appreciate this attempt, as concluded by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. However, those who are on the level of hogs and dogs will never appreciate such a great attempt. Yet this does not matter to the preachers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, for all over the world they will continue to perform this responsible work, even though persons who are like cats and dogs do not appreciate it. What is Srila Prabhupada saying here? The real benefit of the world is to propagate the Sankirtan mission. There is a class of Vaishnava who thinks that Vaishnavism means to sit in a secluded place and do japa, to chant 1 lakh of Nam, to chant 2 lakhs of Nam. That's very good for them. They're immensely benefited taking shelter of the holy name, but they're selfish. They don't care for the propagation of the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prahlad Maharaj said, "Naivo dvijay paraduratya vaitaranyas taddirya gayana mahamrita magna cheta so chetato vimukha chetasi indriyartha maya sukhaya baramudvahato vimudhan." He says, my heart bleeds to see people suffering in this world. For myself, I have no problems. I'll cross over Vaitarani river, I'll go back to God, and I have no problems for myself. What is my problem? My problem is to see the suffering of those foolish rascals, Vimudas, who've taken this heavy burden of material life and get nothing in result. What do they get for working hard, struggling like an ass? Nothing. Sita atapa bhattavareshana idina jamini jagire vipale sevanu kripana durajana chapala sukala balagire. Srila Govinda Das sings his beautiful song, Bhajaharemana. In blazing heat, in blasting wind, freezing winter, they're struggling hard. For what? Chapala sukala balagire. Edana jovana putra parijana, edana jovana putra parijana, iteke achi paratiti re, kamala dala jala jivana talamala, bhajahu haripada niti re. Saying that whatever you get slips through your fingers, it's all temporary, as much as water on the pad of a lotus pad is temporary. Lotus pad has specific characteristic. It's very waxy in the substance. So water comes on it and it can't stay. The slightest wind sends it back into the body of water. So wealth, family, youth, all of these things are all temporary. And people work hard just for this. And what do they get at the end? Nothing. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, my heart bleeds for them. And not only do they get nothing, mostly they go to hell for their sinful life, dedicated to simply gratifying their tongue, belly, and genital. Such an unhappy life. So devotee bleeds for those persons. He can never be happy sitting in a secluded place for his own liberation, for his own spiritual emancipation. But there is a class of person who criticizes the preachers of Krishna consciousness. They say this is karma. It's not karma. Krishna is the enjoyer of this. It's his manobishtam. It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's manobishtam to spread Krishna consciousness to every town and village. to every nagar and gram, to every city and town and small locality in the world. And here in Mayapur we see the result. African devotees, Chinese devotees, American devotees, Mexican devotees, European devotees, Japanese devotees from every town and village coming here to Mayapur to spread the message, to learn and spread the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The prediction is that devotees will come here and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message of Sankirtan will spread all over the world from Mayapur. So this is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is the mission of our acharyas, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada, who perfectly understood the message from his guru, who understood it from his guru, who wanted to see this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spread all over the world. Prabhupada said, this movement, ISKCON, is the manobishtam of Lord Chaitanya. So we should meditate on that. Lord Chaitanya's manobishtam, what did God want? And if you participate in that, how much mercy will accrue to you? How much benefit will come to you if you participate in the process that pleases the Lord more than any other thing? More than millions of aratis, more than millions of flowers, to go out and approach Jagai and Madai and ask them, you please chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because why else are we building big temples? Why else are we distributing millions of books, 260 million books? Millions of people receive Krishna Prasadam from ISKCON temples and devotees every day. Why do we accept so much trouble? For what purpose? That one blessed day, a person picks up a japa mala and begins to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. For this purpose, this is the manobishtam of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We don't exist, ISKCON doesn't exist for the purpose of ISKCON. ISKCON exists for the benefit of human society. That they can wake up their dull brain to accept the value of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because this is the most, it's the fruit, the ripened fruit of all the Vedas. Madhuram Madhuram Etan Mangalam Mangalanam Sakalanigam Satphalam Chitsurupam Sagradapi Parigitam Shraddaya Helayava Brigavaranaramatyam Tarayat Krishna Nama. This Krishna Nama is the ripened fruit of the entire tree of Vedic wisdom. It's the sweetest of all sweet things, the most auspicious of all auspicious things. And even if one chants inattentively, even inattentive chanting can liberate one from this world. Such an auspicious thing, such an important thing to propagate all over the world. This is the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his own manobishtam, and Prabhupada said this ISKCON is the manobishtam of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Srila Prabhupada wrote in this regard, Parasya Shaktir Vividaya Shruyate, I'm quoting from one purport in this section. The Supreme Lord has multi-potencies which the Lord bestows on his fortunate devotees. The Lord has a special potency by which he spreads the Krishna consciousness movement. This is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antilila, chapter 7, text 11. Kali Kalera Dharma, Krishna Nama Sankirtana, Krishna Shakti Vinanahita Pravartana. One cannot spread the holy name of Krishna without being specifically empowered by Lord Krishna. A devotee who receives this power from the Lord must be considered very fortunate. The Krishna consciousness movement is spreading to enlighten people about their real position, their original relationship with Krishna. One requires Krishna's special power in order to be able to do this. The Lord also empowers a special devotee to teach people their constitutional position. So Krishna Shakti, only by Krishna Shakti will the Sankirtan movement spread. It's not by managerial expertise, it's not by money, it's not by intelligence, it's not by good birth, it's by mercy, by the Shakti of the Lord. Some people say some grossly offensive people say that Srila Prabhupada was successful in spreading Krishna consciousness because he was a good businessman. Have you ever heard that before? So offensive. So offensive. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's explained that only with pure devotees, the Antaranga Shakti comes to those pure devotees, and what do? Only they are able to spread Krishna consciousness. Only they get Krishna Shakti. So how can we say that Srila Prabhupada spread Krishna consciousness because he was a good businessman? What envious mentality is that? Deeply envious, cat and dog mentality. To think that that ISKCON spread all over the world with millions of devotees, millions of books, prasadam, books, temples. I'm fortunate to spend time in North India. Just in Delhi NCR, there are 18 big temples. Not small temples, big temples. And in 1 month, in 2018 I believe, Delhi NCR devotees distributed 800,000 Bhagavad Gitas in 1 month. 1 month. That's more Bhagavad Gitas in 1 month than all of America has done in several years. It's more Bhagavad Gitas than the Gaudiya Math has done in several decades. This is the power of Krishna Shakti that's come to devotees who surrender themselves to the mission of Lord Chaitanya. So someone, if you ever hear this thing, don't bother hearing it. Oh, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Material body is just a botheration. Always giving some trouble. So don't tolerate, if you hear this, if you're so unfortunate to meet someone who thinks like that, challenge them. So while Rupa and Sri Vallabha were with Lord Chaitanya, one great devotee, his name was Vallabha Bhatta. Vallabha Bhatta was a South Indian Brahmin who later became known as Vallabhacharya, and he started his own sampradaya, Pushti Marg. He was also the recipient of special mercy from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because when he brought his own tika, his commentary, Srimad Bhagavatam, he says, my commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam is better than that of Sridhar Swami. Mahaprabhu said, anyone who doesn't accept Swami is a prostitute. Making play on words. In other words, saying, who doesn't accept Sridhar Swami is a prostitute. Who doesn't accept husband is a prostitute. He started his own sampradaya, Pushti Marg. And actually they've kidnapped our Gopal. Madhavendra Puri worshipped Gopal on Govardhan Hill. And he placed the deity in charge of some Brahmins. So you see that same deity, Madhavendra Puri's Gopal deity, is being worshipped in Nathdwar today as Sri Nathji. He's our deity. Everyone knows. They kidnapped him. You can go see him. He's very beautiful. But he's actually Gaudiya deity. He's our deity. But being worshipped by Pushti Marg. You see, you go there and they have little silver toys in front of Gopal. They don't give him any chili. All very sweet food. They have one well full of ghee. And they bring in cane juice and make their own sugar. So Gopal's food is very tasty, sweet and rich, delicious type of food that a young boy would like to eat. So they worship him very nicely. But he's our deity. So this is Vallabhacharya. And when Rupa Goswami and Sri Vallabha saw him, they were feeling themselves very low. And they offered their obeisances and said, Nich jati, nich karma, nich sangi, patita adhama. I'm fallen. Everything about me is fallen. My work is fallen. And they took very, very humble position. They took straw in their teeth and they bowed down before this Brahmin. But the Brahmin could understand that these are actually great devotees. And he quoted this verse from Bhagavatam, Aho bhatasa pachoto guriyan yajdivargri vartate nama tubhyam tepus tapaste juhuvas sasnaraya brahmanutra nama grananti yete. That means that if the holy name is on the tip of one's tongue, he's done everything. He's done sacrifice, he's given in charity, he's bathed in holy rivers, he's gone on tirtha yatra, he's studied shastra, he's done everything required. He's actually Aryan, even if he's born in the family of swapachas, dog eaters. Because the holy name is on the tip of his tongue. For such a person, what is left to achieve? Someone who's done yoga and jnana and karma and sacrifice, karma, all types of spiritual activities. What's left for that person? Only Krishna prema. We should take note, because we're also chanting holy name from all different types of diverse backgrounds. We're all chanting the holy name. What achievement is left for us? Karma? We've done that. Yoga? Done that. Been there, done that. Jnana? Bahunam janmanam ante jnanamam prapadyate. Vasudev sarvamiti samahatma sudurlava. We've done that jnana. Birth after birth you can do jnana. Jnana is helpful. We also appreciate knowledge. But jnana is like a knife. If you want to eat a mango, you take a knife and you peel the mango and you cut it in pieces, you offer the mango and you eat. You don't eat the knife, you eat the mango. But the knife is a via medium to help us eat the mango. So jnana is very helpful in bhakti, but it cannot give you bhakti. But a devotee who's chanting the holy name has done jnana and karma and yoga and tirtha yatra and holy dips. He's done everything, studied shastra, everything required. What is left for him? Krishna prema. How do we get Krishna prema? From Krishna nama, chanting holy name. This is the result, this is the fruit of chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So when Rupa and Sri Vallabha saw this devotee, he could understand these are actually great devotees. They praised him, oh, you're a great Brahmana. But who is a Brahmana? What is a Brahmana? Is it by birth? Krishna says in Gita, Chaturvanyam maya shishtam guna karma vibhagasha. He says, I've created four types of categories, vibhagasha. They're created, maya shishtam. They're created by me. We talk of varnashram dharma. We think we're going to institute varnashram. It's already done. Krishna says, maya shishtam. We simply have to organize, to define, to set rules, to set parameters of behavior. What is a Brahman? What is a Brahmana's activity? Patan yajan dana pratigraha. He's meant to study Shastra, to teach Shastra. Worship the deity and teach other people to worship the deity. In other words, to make other people devotees. To accept charity and give charity. Simple life. Somo dhamatapasocham kantir arjavam evacha jnana vijnanam astikyam brahma karma subhavajam. 9 qualities and 6 activities, 6 karmas. That's a Brahman. There's no mention of birth. Narada Muni told Yudhishthir, Yasyaya lakshanam proktam pum sarvana vibhanjakam yadandrapi dishyeta tattainava vanir dishet. If one is born in the family of Brahmanas, but his quality, his guna, is that of a Shudra, he is a Shudra. And if someone is born in the family of Shudras, but he has the quality, the qualification of a Brahman, he is a Brahman by qualification, not by birth. There is no mention anywhere. Guna karma, vibhagasha. No mention of janma. But they say, Brahman by birth. They say rabbit only begets a rabbit. Horse only begets a horse. A deer only begets a deer. And a Brahman begets a Brahman. This is bogus. My father was an orthopedic surgeon. Can I operate on any of you? Any volunteers? My father was a doctor. I should have if everything's by birth, I should have the qualities of my father. Any volunteers to operate? Get a scalpel and just start cutting Bogus idea. So who is a Brahmin? Brahmin by quality. So Vallabhabhata understood that, and he quoted this verse, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya Jati Shastam Japastapa Apranasya Dehinam Dehasya. He said that someone who's devoid of bhakti, doesn't matter if they have big qualities, high birth, big country, renunciation, wealth, knowledge. What are they? They're decorations on a dead body. We're interested in the quality. Krishna is interested in the quality of our heart, the quality of our activity, our guna, and our karma, how we serve the Lord, how we feel about the Lord, what is our relationship with the Lord. He doesn't care what family you're born in, what color your skin is, how tall you are, tall, short, skinny, fat, weak, young, strong, old, young, male, female. He doesn't care. What is he? He simply wants your devotion, your bhakti. So this meeting was very significant between them. And then, after this description, Lord Chaitanya begins to describe the process of devotional service. And he said it's impossible. He's speaking to Rupa Goswami now. And he says, impossible for me to describe devotional service completely, because it is like an ocean. So let me describe just one drop. And if we taste one drop of pure devotional service, the whole world can drown in that drop of pure devotional service. So Lord Chaitanya made very extraordinary description. And he first starts out by explaining that there's 8,400,000 species of life. 8,400,000, not 8,400,001, 8,400,000. Srila Prabhupada emphasizes this. And the soul is transmigrating throughout them all. And their souls, sarvagataha. Souls are everywhere. Just if we analyze a square meter of water from Ganga, what will you find there? You'll find algae and some protozoan life, parameciums, amoebas, stentor, all different types of single-celled creatures are there, some fish, some snail, some algae. All different types of life forms are there in a square, thousands, hundreds of thousands in a square meter of water. How many square meters of water are there in Ganga? How many trillions, innumerable living beings are just in Ganga? And they're living souls just like each and every one of us. Atma is there. Wherever we see life, there's Atma. Like these mosquitoes. People will say, it's all chemicals. Such a foolish idea. Is a mosquito chemicals flying through the air? They want to suck your blood? Is it just some chemicals? Such a foolish idea. Atma is there. And our blood is food for that soul and that particular body who's taken the birth as an Atma. This is the only explanation of the soul and life that makes any sense. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started out 8,400,000 species of life. Then he divided it between those who are Stavara and Jangama. And he defined what is Atma. Stavara, Keshagra Shatabhagasya Shatada Kalpitasya. He said if you take the tip of a hair, how small is that? Take the tip of Keshagra, the tip of one hair, and you divide it 100 times. Then you take that 100th part and you divide that 100 times. That is this dimension of the soul, of the Atma. For those who have a scientific background, that's 2 angstroms is how big we are. We may think, I'm a big devotee. Or so-and-so is a big devotee. You're 2 angstroms, Prabhu. Keshagra Shatabhagasya, 100,000, the tip of, size of 1/10,000th, the size of a tip of a hair. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. And Stavara and Jangama, 2 types of living beings. Stavara means those living beings like trees, they can't move. Mountains, they're stationary tree is what? Padapat. It eats through its feet. It drinks through its feet. It can't move. And Jangama. Jangama means living beings that are moving. Then it talks about human beings. Human beings are also very small in number. Only 400,000 species of human life. And that means all different races, not just on this planet. The Gandharvas, the Kinnaras, all different types of living beings within the creation of God are categorized as human beings. Then it divided further those who follow Vedic principles and those that do not. Kirata hunandra palinda pulkasha abhira shumba yavana kashadaya yenye chapapa yadapashraya shaya shudyanti tasmai prabhu Vishnave namaha. That all types of living beings can be purified by the association of a pure devotee. But there are many, many types of people. Those that follow and those that don't. Another division. Then he went on. Among the followers who follow Vedic principles, said most of them only give lip service to Vedic principle. Say, for example, we hear people, I'm a Hindu. But they're eating meat, eating fish. Is this within the construct of Dharma? It's adharma. But they say, I'm following Dharma, I'm a Hindu, Sanatan Dharma. Since when does eating meat have anything to do with Sanatan Dharma? It's sinful. They're poppies. They're giving lip service. I'm a this or I'm a that. And we see that all over the world. People give lip service to religion. I'm a Christian, I'm a Hindu, I'm a Jew, I'm a Sikh. They give lip service to religion, but they don't follow the principles of religion, which are rejected. Bhagavatam rejects all type of cheating types of religion. So some people follow Vedas, other people do not. Amongst those who follow, only a few are not deviated by karma kanda. What is karma kanda? I give you this, and you give me that. Fruitive work. Even sometimes, unfortunately, we see devotees doing this type of thing. They do Satyanarayan Katha. Balo Shri Satyanarayan Bhagavan Ki Toot. I gave you ghee, gehun ka atta, milk, curd, flowers. Now you give me. This is not dharma. This is business. This is the mentality of a banik. Mentality of a business person. Lord, I gave this, now you give me. This isn't bhakti. This is business. So amongst those followers of Vedic principle, mostly are deviated by karma kanda. Amongst all the followers of karma kanda, only one you'll find that aren't deviated. You'll only find one jnani, a thoughtful person. But what do the jnanis want? They want to merge with the impersonal absolute, to become one with Brahman. This is another illusion. Bhagavatam says, Yenye chavjam daksa vimuktimanyanastvayastabhavan avishuddha buddhaya aruya kristrena parampadam tada padantyadho nadvata yushmadangraya. They're thinking, I become liberated. This is only in their mind liberated. But because they don't take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down again into material life. They may rise by kristrena sadhana. By extreme austerity, they may rise to the Brahmajyoti. But because it's unnatural for the soul, they fall down. Srila Prabhupada gave an example. He said, just like an airplane may take off and fly in the sky. It can fly very nicely, but it's unnatural situation. As soon as the fuel is exhausted, it falls down from the sky. So by their austerity, the jnanis who want to merge with the impersonal absolute, become one with God, they can do that, but they can't stay. Aruya parampadam, they may achieve parampadam, Brahmajyoti. But padantyadho nadvita yushmanangra, they fall down because they don't take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Why? Because they say lotus feet of the Lord are Maya. That Rama, Krishna, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Shiva, Ganesh, Indra, Varuna, they say they're all products of Sattva Gun, Maya. Therefore we say Mayavadi. They say Brahman is everything. It's only Brahman, and this is only, and everything else is reality. So they can't take shelter of Krishna because they think Krishna is Maya. So what is the use of jnana? Can it really help you? Their objective of merging into the impersonal absolute, can it really help you? No. But they're wise. They understand something about this material world, that we can't stay here, that is full of suffering. Tukhalayam ashashvatam. A materialistic person thinks, let me make it sukhalayam shashvatam. I can stay here and be very, very happy. So Jnani knows this material world is full of suffering. He knows I can't stay, but his conclusion is wrong. More than the Jnanis, out of millions of such wise men, one may be actually liberated. Out of millions of such liberated souls, a pure devotee is very rare. And Krishna says, same thing in Bhagavad Gita, Manushanam sahasreshu Kastyan yatadi siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam Kastyan mam veti tattvataha. Out of many thousands among men, only one asks relevant questions. Why am I here? What is this life? How was I born? What is the objective of life? How do I understand God? Out of 1,000 men, probably more like 1,000,000 in Kali Yuga, only one even asks these questions. And if you take 1,000 thoughtful persons, only one of them becomes a devotee. Devotees are very, very rare. Pure devotees, even more rare. Krishna, and then this verse is quoted, Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ataveta Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakala Ashanta. Only a devotee of the Lord can be happy. These jnanis, unhappy. Those who want to enjoy this world, unhappy. Yogis, unhappy because they have some extraneous objective in life. They want something other than Krishna. How can they be happy? They want something other than Krishna. Happiness will always elude them, evade them. So this verse is quoted in this discussion with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's describing to Rupa Goswami. And then he quotes this verse, important verse, famous verse, Brahmanda Brahmite Konya Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Who is fortunate? Who is Bhagyavan Jeev? After wandering through millions of universes and millions of species of life, who is fortunate? Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Who has bona fide spiritual master, who has received the seed of bhakti in his heart, who thinks, I only want Krishna. Come what may, I only want Krishna. This is pure devotional service. Then this verse is quoted. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanabitam anukoyana krishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. What is bhakti, uttam bhakti? That I don't want anything but Krishna. I only want to make him happy. This is pure devotional service. More than yoga. Don't be distracted by yoga, good for your health. But in millions of lifetimes practicing yoga, you'll never get a shred of bhakti. It's not for bhakti, it's for your health. Don't misunderstand. Bhakti cannot help you. Jnana cannot give you bhakti. Karma, of course, cannot give you. It's selfish. Only bhakti can give you bhakti. Even the most insignificant activity can give you all perfection in spiritual life. In this way, Krishna levels the whole playing field. Anyone who takes shelter of him can go back to God. And he says in Bhagavad Gita, Mam chayo vibhicharine bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitam brahma bhoyaya kalpate. By bhakti, we transcend the influence of the modes of material nature and come to spiritual platform, beyond the influence of the modes of material nature. So Lord Chaitanya is speaking to Rupa Goswami. He starts out the very, very ABC, that there's millions of life forms, and he comes to the most rare thing, most refined, rarefied thing, Krishna Bhakti. So one who achieves that has to nurture that bhakti. One has to become a gardener and nurture that bhakti lata bij, because that bhakti lata bij is very, very delicate, especially in the beginning of spiritual life. Komal shraddha. Komal shraddha means our faith is very weak. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ashradhana purusha dharmasyasya parantapa aprapya mam nivartente mrityu sansara vartmani. Those who are not faithful in bhakti cannot achieve me. What do they get? Mrityu sansara. They return to this world of birth and death, which is also very instructive. It's very instructive to be locked into birth and death. One has to have faith to make progress in spiritual life. So that faith is nourished by Sravana and Kirtana. This is the water that maintains our bhakti lata, that makes it grow and ultimately reach the kingdom of God, Goloka, and take shelter on the lotus feet of the Lord and produce the fruit of Krishna Prema. And the whole process is based on hearing and chanting. Even when it comes to the stage of Prema, the watering process of hearing and chanting still goes on. Then there's a very important discussion. Because what can destroy that bhakti lata bij? What is the enemy, the mortal enemy of our bhakti lata bij? That is sadhu ninda, Vaishnav ninda. And in the purport to this verse, Srila Prabhupada, interestingly, talks about guru avagya as being sadhu ninda. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master as being sadhu ninda. Because who is guru? Guru is sacrificing his life. Srila Prabhupada would say, buckets of blood, sweat and tears to bring someone to Krishna Bhakti. Sacrificing everything for the disciple. Then the disciple says, why should I follow? This is Guru Avagya. This is Vaishnav Ninda. And this is the greatest enemy for our Bhakti Lata Bij. Our Bhakti Lata Bij has to be fenced. The Shastra describes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described, we should build a fence around that Bhakti Lata Bij. What is that fence? We should understand very carefully. Because if we don't have that fence, our Bhakti Lata Bij can be trampled by the mad elephant of Sadhu Ninda, Vaishnav Ninda, Vaishnavi Ninda. We cannot offend devotees because devotees are extremely rare and extremely dear to the Lord. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a story of Durvasa and Ambarish Maharaj. Durvasa offends Ambarish. He wanted, not just offends him, he tried to kill him. He created a fire-breathing demon to kill Ambarish Maharaj. But the Lord sent his Sudarshan Chakra to pray. Kauntaya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Krishna told Arjuna, declare it boldly, my devotee never perishes. So Krishna sent his Sudarshan, he turned that Sudarshan Chakra to dispatch the demon, and the Sudarshan Chakra began to chase Maharaj Durvasa. Now when the demon came in front of Maharaj Ambarish, he folded his hands and he's thinking, this is all Krishna. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Krishna is death. If he's come, let me die. If it's Lord's will, then let me die. But when the Sudarshan Chakra came and turned on Durvasa, Durvasa ran all over the universe trying to save himself. See the difference between a yogi and a bhakta. See the difference. Bhakta is completely dependent on Krishna in life. Manasa deho geho. His body, his mind, everything is mine. Radha Krishna pranamor jugala kishore. Jivana marane gati ar nahi more. Narottam Das Thakur prayed. In life and death, there's nothing more for me than Radha Krishna. They're my prana, they're my life, my everything. In life and death, they're everything. So Ambarish Maharaj was not disturbed, but Durvasa ran all the way to Vaikuntha and threw himself at the feet of Lord Vishnu. Said, please save me. Lord Vishnu said, I cannot, because you've offended my devotee. You're a sadhu ninda. You're an offender to my devotee. Then he said, Aham bhakta paradino na swatantra ivadvaja sadhu virgrasta hridayam bhakta bhakjanano priyaha. He says, the devotees are very, very dear to me. They're everything. They don't know anything but me. My devotee doesn't know anything but me, and I don't know anything but my devotee. When the 4 Kumaras came to the gates of Vaikuntha, and there's a big scene with Jai Vijay, Lord comes there and he told Jai Vijay that if my arm offends my devotee, I'll cut off my own arm if it offends my devotee. Lord has so much feeling for his devotee. He's Bhakta Vatsal. Bhakta Vatsal means, Vatsa means a calf. How much affection does mother cow have for her calf? Calf is everything for mother cow. And Krishna has that same loving affection for his devotee. His heart is everything for his devotee. So if we offend devotee, what will that do to our bhakti lata bij? This is the mad elephant's offense, and we fence it off, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, by staying in association with devotees and avoiding the association of non-devotees. Lord Chaitanya was asked, who is a Vaishnava? Tell me, who is a Vaishnava? Lord Chaitanya said, someone who gives up the association of non-devotees. Asat Sangha Tyaga. Asat Sangha Tyaga E Vaishnavachar. Asat Sangha means non-devotee, who has no interest in spiritual life. Now someone may think, many of you are grihastha devotees. You have a job, an income, and you go to office or you go to a business situation, and you associate with non-devotees. Is this what Lord Chaitanya is talking about? No, never. You're giving your association, but if they say to you, hey, John, or hey, Santosh, let's go out and party. It's Friday night, let's go. And you go into their space, their mentality, their lifestyle. That is association with non-devotees. And Srila Prabhupada writes in these purports that when, quote, when one associates with non-devotees, the maddened elephant is set loose. The first business of a Vaishnava is to give up the association of non-devotees. So what is the fence that protects our bhakti lata bij? Association with devotees and following the instructions of the spiritual master. So when you're in the situation where you're in the association of non-devotees, they're benefited. That you influence them, they don't influence you. Do your business. We should be known as friendly people. Don't think, you're a non-devotee, don't talk to me. I'm a Hare Krishna. Not like that. We should be friendly. Devotee is by nature friendly. Maitura korona evacha. He's friendly, merciful. So we should be known as friendly, merciful members of society. We don't separate ourselves from society, we separate ourselves from society's bad habits. This is the meaning of not associating with non-devotees. So the fence, we should build very strong fence. Prabhupada said that fence is association with devotees. Now some very interesting verses come after this. Oops. I'm quoting from the verses written in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Quote, sometimes unwanted creepers, such as the creepers of desires for material enjoyment and liberation from the material world, grow along with the creeper of devotional service. The varieties of such unwanted creepers are unlimited. Verse 158. Some unnecessary creepers growing along with the bhakti creeper are the creepers of behavior unacceptable for those trying to attain perfection. Diplomatic behavior, animal killing, mundane profiteering, mundane adoration, and mundane importance. All these are unwanted creepers. There's a funny story. In our Seattle temple back in the old days, we didn't know what is Tulsi. So they had one pot, and they're taking care of the plant that was growing there very carefully. They're going, Yani Kani Chapapani Brahmahattari Kani Cha Brindayi Tulsi Devi. They're bowing down, they're worshipping, they're offering a lamp, offering incense, praying, oh, please bless me. It wasn't Tulsi. It's some weed. They're worshipping and watering a weed, and we can do the same thing in devotional life if we're not careful. If we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra without desiring to give up sense gratification, to give up bad habits, to be the best devotee we can be, then we're watering that weed, and that weed can choke out the Bhakti Lata Bij. So we should be careful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is warning us. And he mentions 6 things. First thing, Nisidachar. Behavior not to be exhibited by a person desiring to become perfect. Whole society is watching us. When you go out in public, don't go out dressed like a ragamuffin, torn cloth, dirty cloth. Go out perfectly dressed because society is looking at you. Go out with nice tilak, very nice tilak, clean cloth, nicely dressed, not for prestige, not for ahankar, but because we're representing Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. And our behavior should always be ideal. No shouting, no name calling, no bad behavior in public, because the public is looking at us. Because we stand out in public, with our tilak, our kantimala, our dhoti, our sari. Oh, that must be ISKCON person. And if we behave badly in public, then we bring shame to Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. So we should be very careful how we behave in public. Kutinati means diplomacy. Being two-faced, being duplicitous. That you say one thing to, oh Prabhu, you're like my best friend. Then you're with someone else. You know, that guy's really a nonsense. You know, he does this and he does that, and I heard he's this and blah, 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 blah. But on his face, oh, you're my friend. This is to be given up. Devotee is straightforward. He's a truth speaker. He doesn't have 2 lives, 2 faces. He has one face, the face of Krishna Bhakti. This is what I am. I'm imperfect. I have so many bad faults, but this is face value. This is what I am. He doesn't pretend. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not. No duplicity in his life. No kutinati. Jiva hingsa means unnecessary killing animals. Devotees aren't killing animals. But there's also another kind of jiva himsa that Srila Prabhupada described, which is not taking part in the Sankirtan mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is violence. Do not preach Krishna consciousness. To support the preaching mission of Lord Chaitanya is actually violence. Because what other benefit is there in society? How else can they be benefited? Only by this mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's real benefit. So we should participate somehow or other, in some way, raising children, selling books, building temples, balancing books, worshipping deity, cooking, cleaning. Srila Prabhupada said the person who's washing the floor and the devotee offering the arati, same. Or another time he said that if the pujari is offering one flower to the deity and he puts the flower on Krishna's lotus feet and that insect kisses the lotus feet of Krishna, he is as good as the pujari. So no discrimination. We want to preach Krishna consciousness in some way or another, and this, if we don't do that, if we don't participate somehow or other according to our capacity in the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is violence. Hinsa. So we practice ahimsa by preaching Krishna consciousness. Labha means profit according to material calculation. We should be happy with what comes. Because Srila Prabhupada said many times, you can't get more and you can't get less. You can't get more than you're destined. Why be greedy? Why be unhappy? Why be stressed? You do what you're meant to do to create income to support your family and be happy. You can't get more and you can't get less. If we really had faith in this statement, how happy we'd be. How stress-free we'd be, how satisfied we'd be. But people are mad after money. But what can money do? Money is always a problem. If you don't have money, that's a big problem. You can't pay your bills. And if you have money, how will I keep it? My family wants it, the thieves want it, the government wants it, my wife wants it, my husband, everyone wants my money. How can I keep it? My money, my esteemed godbrother, revered godbrother, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to say, money, 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 sweeter than honey, brighter than sunshine, sweeter than honey. Money, money, money. Money is a problem unless we use it for Krishna. Then there's no more problem. Lakshmi is meant for Narayan. Sita is meant for Ram. Ravana's mentality is, it's all for me, it's for my pleasure. It's not for your pleasure. It's for Krishna. Because money can buy you a bed, but can it buy you sleep? Money can buy you food, but can it buy appetite? Money can buy you nice clothes, but can it buy character? It can buy you a house, but can it buy you a home? We should think these things very carefully. So why labha? Greediness for money. If you have that, you'll simply get yourself in trouble. Puja, adoration, achieved by satisfying mundane people. This is self-explanatory. Why should we put ourselves like you can say, why am I sitting in the big seat? I mean, you could fall off and hurt yourself. Why is it? What is it for? Not for me. It's for what is being spoken. Because these are the words of the Supreme Personality of God and His pure devotee. I'm simply repeating. It's not for me. But if I think, I'm a great devotee. See, they gave me this garland. They gave me a big seat. You're all sitting and listening. I'm a great... This is Maya. Puja is to be rejected. Same with pratishta. Becoming an important man in material calculations and so on. At the last verse of Hari Bhakti Vilas, Srila Sanatana Goswami says, try to give up pratishta. Try to give it up. Not easy. A man may give up, or a woman may give up so many other things in this world. Not easy to give up pratishta. If we say, oh, Mishra Bhagavan, such a great devotee, so pure, so knowledgeable, so renounced, so dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. Oh, tell me more, tell me more. But I say, Mishra Bhagavan, you're a rascal, you're a fool, you're a nonsense. Oh, how dare you say that to me? We're influenced by this, by pratishta. So Sanatana Goswami says, try to give up pratishta. Why? Because it's the root of all anarthas. Pratishta is the root of all anarthas. Why do we fight with each other? Why do we argue? Why do we criticize devotees? Why do we want to drag them down? Because we want to be great. We want to be right. Pratishta. This is to be given up. Because these are unnecessary creepers that will choke the Bhakti Lata Bij and destroy your spiritual life if you let them grow. Next verse. If one does not distinguish between the Bhakti creeper and other creepers, the sprinkling of water is misused because the other creepers are nourished while the Bhakti creeper is curtailed. As soon as an intelligent person, intelligent devotee sees an unwanted creeper growing beside the original creeper, he must cut it down immediately. Then the real creeper, the Bhakti Lata, grows nicely, returns home, back to Godhead, and seeks shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. Try and understand. We should all try to understand this point. We're exchanging Krishna, Goloka, for such tiny, insignificant things. One time, Srila Prabhupada came to check on the progress that our godbrother Shyam Sundar Prabhu was making, carving Jagannath deities, the first Jagannath deities in San Francisco. So he was a wood carver, carpenter, and Prabhupada came, the progress was our esteemed god sister, Malati Mataji, was telling the story that he was going slow because Prabhupada wanted to see the deity carved before he left San Francisco. So he was intentionally going slowly to keep Prabhupada in San Francisco longer. So Prabhupada came to check on the progress, and there was a pack of cigarettes sitting on Jagannath's head. So he took his cane and they said, don't let this small thing come between you and Krishna. Don't let this small thing, puja, labha, pratishta, these are small things. Don't be deviated. We have the opportunity in this lifetime, tyaktva deham punar janma, naiti mamiti swarjana. We can go back to Godhead. This lifetime, it's within our grasp. Don't be deviated by small things. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport many other things to be given up, creepers that can grow in our heart. There's a long list. I'll read some of them. There's a long list of creepers, unwanted creepers that can grow in our heart that we can unintentionally nourish when we're actually meaning to come closer to Krishna. Number one, chanting without the desire to give up sense gratification. Our chanting has a purpose. We have an objective, a prayojana. Our prayojana is Krishna prema. And if we're not chanting with that purpose, if we're not trying to be the best devotee we can be, you're just coasting. You're just waiting for Maya to overcome you. So chanting without desire to give up sense gratification is an anartha. Liberation, like the Mayavadis. We talked about that. That's not real liberation. It's false liberation. Yoga Siddhi. By practice of Patanjali Yoga system, one can actually develop Siddhi. But in yoga has become a joke. It's just a bad joke. Because yoga means Ashtanga Yoga. 8 processes, not just asana. In America, it's a big joke. They're thinking they're yogis. They're sitting in Padmasana with Jnana Mudra. Now I'm doing yoga. Doing, what do they call this? Some meditation, some breath process. Asana is one part. Yoga begins, yoga indriya samyama. Yoga begins with sense control. If the yoga studios of America taught this, they'd be empty tomorrow. Because they think my yoga process will increase the quality of my sense gratification. This is bogus. But actual yoga process, Ashtanga Yoga, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dhyana, Dharana, Samadhi, 8 processes can actually give you Siddhi. You can become smaller than the smallest, lighter than the lightest, control people's mind, get anything you want. Prabhupada tells the story of his teacher who went to see his guru. And his guru said, "What do you want?" He said, "I want mangoes from Kabul. I want pomegranate from Kabul." He said, "Go to the next room." He goes to the next room, and there on the table is a pile of pomegranates from Kabul, fresh pomegranate. This is called Prapti Siddhi. It's not a myth. It's not an illusion. It is possible. But what will you get from it? You can buy pomegranate in the store, in the market. What is the use of yogic siddhi? You can fly in the sky. You can get on a jet airplane and fly in the sky also. What is the use of yogic siddhi? It is an anartha. Diplomatic or crooked behavior. Associating with women to enjoy their body. We associate with women for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Women associate with men for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. It is said that women are like fire and men are like butter. And they melt when they get near a woman. Okay, what happens when you get butter and fire and you put it together? Something very nice happens. You get ghee. You take butter and you put it under fire and you boil it. It makes ghee, and with ghee we do sacrifice. We make delicious foodstuff and offer to the Lord for His satisfaction. So a holy relationship between man and woman progresses us in devotional life. We make progress in devotional life by this association. But if you associate with a woman simply to enjoy her body, Or if a woman associates with a man just to enjoy his body, this is big Maya. It's an anartha. It's a weed that will choke your devotional creeper. Making a show of a devotional service like Sahajiyas. One time, when Sahajiya came, and he was carrying on in front of Srila Prabhupada. He's going, oh, Radhe, Radhe. He's rolling on the ground. Radhe, 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 Radhe. Prabhupada ignored him. He got tired, got up, walked away. This is also happening all over the world. Claiming an opulent spiritual life. Actually, we're running out of time. Many anarthas that grow alongside our Bhakti Lata Bij. Then Mahaprabhu talks about 2 witches. What are those witches that will make you crazy, that will destroy your Bhakti Lata Bij? Liberation and sense gratification, bhukti and mukti. Bhukti mukti siddhi kama sakala ashanta. They simply make you unhappy. How can a witch help you? Then towards the end of the chapter, Mahaprabhu talks about 5 rasas. Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. And that when opulence becomes prominent, this is an important understanding for us as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because as Gaudiya Vaishnavas, what is our prayojana? Our life is not just meant for rules and regulations. Don't do this, don't do that, you got to do this, you got to do that. Anartha nivriti. Devotional life doesn't end with anartha nivriti. What is our prayojana? Radha Krishna seva pavo abhilasi. Eneve danadara sakhirano gatakaro seva adhikaro diye koro nijadasi. Prabhupada gave us this process of bhakti that is miles beyond Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is just a means to come to a higher stage of understanding. That we can enter Raga Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came for this. Rupa Goswami says, Anarpita chirim chirat karunaya vatirna kalo samarpaitum unnato jalarasam sabhakti shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Jyotikadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandare Spirituva Sachinandana. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give? Swabhakti Shriyam, his own bhakti, his own experience of love of God. What more you want? Unato Jalarasam means Madhurya Bhakti. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give that. Krishna Prema Pradayate. This is our prayojana. This is what we want. This is what we should be meditating on. This is the process that Srila Prabhupada gave. Don't tolerate any nonsense that says, oh, ISKCON's just about Vaidhi Bhakti. Bogus! Such a bogus idea. Prabhupada gave us everything in our sadhana. We sing this song every day. What does it mean? Radha Krishna Seva Pava. They say, oh, by your Vaidhi Bhakti in ISKCON, you can only go to Vaikuntha. Best you can be Mahishi and a queen in Dwarka. Spit on this idea. These people are so dull, they forgot their experience in ISKCON, or they never learned anything about ISKCON. They simply bark like dogs. What did Prabhupada give us? He gave us this, Radha Krishna Seva Pava. This is our prayer. Every single day we're singing this prayer for Tulsi Maharani. Our Nivedana, our prayer, our Abhilas is what? Radha Krishna Seva. Koronya Jadasi, make me your maidservant. Nikunjayono Ratikili Siddhayayali Yukti Rapekshani. This is our meditation. Are we there? No. So what does it mean? Srila Jiva Goswami explains that we're practicing Ajata Ruchi, Raganuga Bhakti. Ajata Ruchi means our Ruchi for Krishna, for the process of Bhakti, for Radha Krishna. It's not born. We're not there yet. But we're practicing the principles of Raga. This is what Srila Prabhupada gave us. Don't mistake. Don't make any misunderstanding. And people that criticize in this way, you chastise them. You do not understand A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, you do not understand what he taught, and you don't understand ISKCON and what we're trying to propagate and preach all over the world. What are we singing? What is our prayer? Radha Krishna Seva Pavo. Give me service to Radha Krishna. This is my abhilash, this is my heart's desire, this is my prayer, this is my everything. Not the Mihishis of Dwarka, in Mathura, in Vaikuntha. We're not Vaikuntha Vasis, we're Goloka Vasis. We're simply trying, the only thing that separates us is time. If we follow that what Srila Prabhupada gave us, because he gave everything in his books. He gave more than you can digest in one lifetime. What need is there to go anywhere else? There is no need. Digest what Prabhupada gave you. And to say, I hardly can stand for the words to come from my mouth. They say, oh, Prabhupada didn't give you everything. Such a bogus idea. There's nothing that any other person can give you that Srila Prabhupada cannot give you, that our acharyas cannot give you. We have everything within the walls of our ISKCON society. We should carefully understand that and challenge any bogus person who says otherwise. You do what you want to do, but don't base your life on criticizing this institution. So opulence, when opulence is prominent, this is described here as Sankuchita Priti. Love of God is crippled by this. What did Prabhupada give us? He gave us raga for Krishna. And the examples are there. When the gopas are taking prasadam, they're all sitting in circle. And Krishna is eating off his devotee's plate. And devotee is eating off Krishna's plate. Krishna is ready to take a sweet, and devotee takes it from Krishna's hand, pops it in his own mouth. They're taking food right off Krishna's plate. Can you take food off Lord Nishingadev's plate and pop it in your mouth? Can you take food from Radha Krishna's plate? We're sadhakas, but this is our prayojana. This is what's possible by the process Srila Prabhupada gave us to enter into this realm of raga, of emotional attachment, feeling, and lack of intimacy. The sakhas, the gopals, the gwalbals, the cowherd boys have no sense of superiority. They challenge Krishna. Say, come on, you and me, let's fight. You think you're so big, Krishna? Come on, let's wrestle. They steal food from him, they tease him. They say, Krishna, we brought very nice sweet for you. Close your eyes, open your mouth. We're going to give you very delicious sweet. So Krishna closes his eyes, opens his mouth, and they put one flower in Krishna's mouth and they laugh. Ha ha ha. They make fun of Krishna. They tease him, they wrestle with him, they eat off his plate. Krishna eats off the plate of his devotee. This is intimacy that Srila Prabhupada is making available to us by this process of Krishna Bhakti. When Krishna goes to rescue the sons of his guru, Sandipani Muni, and he appears in the kingdom of Varuna. When Varuna sees Krishna and Balaram, he's folding his hands and he's offering prayers. He's bowing down, he's offering arati. Here is the Supreme Lord, he's worshipping him like this. But what does Nanda Maharaj think? Oh, my son Krishna is so nice. He's such a nice boy. Even Varuna Dev is offering him respect. This is the difference. Not sankuchita, not crippled bhakti, but the intimate bhakti. Swabhakti Shriyam, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give, to distribute to the world. And this is Manobhishtam, this is what ISKCON is meant to give to the world. This intimacy, love of God. Not just worship of God, not just bowing down to God, not being afraid of God, but worshiping and loving God. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give. And Lord Chaitanya meant to distribute this to the world through his intimate associates like Srila Rupa Goswami. So we pray to him. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jayana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Vancha kalpatubhischa kripa sindhubhe vacham Patitanam pavinebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Srila Rupa Goswami